Hi, everyone. I have something special for you today. Today, we're going to be talking with Sydney and Jacob LePan from Asheville, North Carolina. They own Red Wolf Services and are just about wrapping up their coaching program with me. And I wanted to have them on here today because they've been having some pretty great results while in the program. And I thought it would be super cool to hear from them and share their story. So welcome, Sydney and Jacob.
Hi.
Hi. So can you tell us a little bit about your business, when you founded it and why you started it?
Yeah. I'm originally from South Florida. And I started in restaurants and then I moved up here looking for a change of pace, got into cleaning, and then about 2 years into cleaning, stumbled upon some video on Facebook of someone else doing it, a husband and wife team, and I thought, why can't we? So we started the business and we've been doing it for about 2 years now. And then kind of brought my husband along because I was like, I don't want to clean houses by myself. It's too
Yeah.
hard.
Well, that was really cool of him to say, yeah, I'll jump in and clean houses with you, right? So you're lucky there. So when did you decide to seek out private coaching for your cleaning business?
So we were about a year in and we were seeing the same revenue, about $3,000 a month, which was enough to cover the bills, but we weren't growing. And we thought we were going to hire, but we just like never got there, you know? So eventually, I'm not sure how, but I stumbled upon you on Facebook. And then, I was like, okay, why don't I reach out? We set up a call. And that's when during the call, you were asking me, why do you think you need coaching? And I remember telling you, I don't think that I necessarily like need it. I feel like we could still grow. I just feel like we would grow a lot faster and a lot more efficiently if we had somebody who could help us. And the biggest thing that I was suffering with was analysis paralysis. uh,
Yes, you were.
fear of making choices. And so you like having your expertise in like my back pocket basically and being like, Cheryl, was really great.
Yeah, right? The DM at 7 in the morning. I have a question.
Yes, that is me all of the time. And it's mostly earlier in the morning than it is late at night because I'm on the same schedule as you. I'm up at like 5 in the morning.
Yeah,
So, but
you're on the same
yes,
schedule as
yes.
me for sure. And so that's the benefit of working with me. Like I'm accessible. So if you have any questions, you can DM me. I may answer and like may not answer like that second, but it usually is within like an hour or so or whatever. Because some things arise in your business during the week where you need answers to, and you don't, you may not, when you're working alone, may not necessarily have that. So how was business going for you before you decided to seek support and, work with me? What do you think the biggest obstacles you were facing were?
Well, I can definitely attest to that. So basically, as the outside person watching my wife run this business by herself at first,
Hmm.
uh, she had it together, but there is a certain level of structure that you need in terms of growth. And sometimes I feel like we just didn't have it all together and we were chasing ourselves.
Okay.
And so um I would say biggest obstacles was we did not have a good grasp on marketing, so we did not know how to do that effectively and how to reach out to our community and kind of get involved.
Yeah.
And at the same time, we did not present ourselves as well as we would have liked to as a well-functioning company.
Okay. So like your branding, because I know we worked a lot on branding, getting your logo. Is that kind of the thing you mean?
Yeah, kind of structuring those things in a way where we can get ourselves out there to the community and people will recognize us and they see who you are. And when they see your logo, they recognize you immediately. And that was very influential in, the change in our marketing.
Creating Facebook content was that huge one where even like now with
Yeah.
clients, I still get like, oh, I see you in this group, or I've seen you in this group. And it's really great. It also helps where like you were telling us, when you post in groups and then people search within those groups, again, we're coming up because we're the most relevant, you know, and people say, oh, I've seen underneath that, you know, so-and-so says that you're highly recommended and stuff. So that just helps us in general. So the Facebook marketing, content creating, and then me being able to step out of my fear and actually post things really helped.
And so why do you think you had such a fear about it? Because like your logo is so cool, it's super recognizable. You know?
Yeah, I just like, I never knew what to say. I felt like every time I read somebody else's ad, it just seemed so seamless to them, or the sentences were short but yet concise and they got their point across, and mine were always long and run-ons or didn't make sense. At least, I don't know. All these things kept popping up in my head and it was never good enough until I like made one, and then I finally just put it out there, and like now it's odd how like easy it just seems to be sometimes.
Well, and the thing I think we need to point out is that everyone gets so consumed with perfection, like everything being perfect. And you have to realize that even if it's imperfect, do it anyways. Like throw it out there anyways. What's the worst that can happen? No one is going to go there and say, if this was a little too wordy of a post, like they're not going to respond. Like that in a way. The goal is to keep consistency with the post, so everyone keeps seeing your logo. You know, you have 2 spots open, we do deep cleans, we do this, like, so they see it over and over. And I think that has happened with your business now over the last, 6 months or so.
And the crazy thing is even then, like, now that we've been hiring and we kind of have to step back from taking clients, I haven't been posting on Facebook as much. And yet we're still getting probably like 2 to 3 requests a week. And versus if we were posting, we'd be getting like 5, plus. So we're still like getting them, which is good. So I'm not upset.
I know, no, that's super safe. Yeah. So you've been in the program about a little over 7 months now. How has your experience been so far? What do you like about it?
I like the example that you provide, and not only in helping us kind of define who we are, having your expertise to rely on, it kind of helps us with that, where we can kind of figure out how you would operate and tackle a challenge. And then it helps us, devise how we would do in the same way. And I would say in 7 months, with the worksheets that you had us go through to help, really organize, what our business was so that we could make better decisions.
Yep.
That was definitely influential. And, 7 months later, as Sydney said, we have employees. We aren't running our supplies out of a closet in our house, all these wonderful things. So.
Yep. So you took it out of your house. Now you're running it's not in the house anymore. You have a designated spot, which is a big thing. That's like a big step, and it's a big step for employees to see that as well, because they don't really quite take you seriously when you're running the business out of your house. I mean, I started years ago running it out of my house, so I can speak from experience that they just don't take you serious.
Yeah.
Well, I can attest to the fact that until you told us that we needed to do that, I would say in some way we didn't take it seriously enough until we made that commitment. And then, something about it makes it a little more real.
Now we're just excited to get an office space.
Totally real. It's totally real. So let's talk about changes. So what changes has the program helped you make?
Oh my goodness. Okay, so obviously the biggest one is our revenue. We started at like making 3,000 and we're now at $10,000 a month, and still growing. We just got 2 more clients today.
So that's triple.
Yeah,
that's a triple amount. That's good.
And then we just hired our 2nd employee today. So now we have a full-time and a part-time, and then we're working towards moving into the winter time right now, towards just having that employee, like that team out there where we're not working as much. You helped us to create, obviously, as we said, our marketing plan and kind of put all that out there, which is just drastically, like, that's a huge change that accounts for a lot of our revenue. And then you also helped me, like I said, with the fear and analysis paralysis and just like answering questions for me on the spot. The other big thing is like seeing and hearing, that you and other people like are actual people, because when you tell me that you have to like reschedule or you're running late or just like all these small things, but like I'm such a perfectionist that I always think that I have to hold myself to like the standard. And so like hearing, you know, that other people are a little easy on themselves, I guess allows me to be easy on myself. I don't know how to explain it, but
You think like other people are on pedestals and they have it perfect, and that's totally not the case. And the biggest thing that you can learn is that you have to work through the imperfect times, and you have to keep going, like no matter what is thrown at you. So like as a CEO of a business, there's a lot of things that are going to be thrown at you, and you need to figure out how to navigate those waters and not be on an emotional roller coaster 24/7, which
yeah.
we all know what that feels like, and it feels awful.
Well, and you and I literally talked about this just last week when I believe it was, last week. I told you I had sent my team out into the field, and I knew it could have been a dirtier house. They contacted me as soon as they got there and were like, hey, you know, like there's a lot of pet hair. There's a lot of trash all over the floor. Like it was indeed really dirty.
Yeah.
And we were concerned that they weren't going to make it to the next clean on time and, you know, all this kind of stuff. And so that was where that also took like my control freak and kind of like reeled me back in, where like I can't do anything from my office except for like tell the next client that we might be a little late, deal with the fact that it's really messy now, and just kind of like move forward. And even then it's not a huge deal. So
So
I'm
let's
starting
talk about-
to
yeah, so like tying into that, you currently have a shoulder injury, so you weren't able to physically go out in the field, and you had to rely on your husband to go lead the team. So was that difficult for you to let go of the reins? But you had to let go of the reins.
yeah. Yes, at first it
right?
was, but he's
Yeah.
proved to be amazing asset.
I think before we had your coaching, you know, something like that had happened to us in our business where she wasn't able to scrub with her shoulder being out and things like that. It basically would have, you know, been a huge problem, and we probably would have been almost crumpled by it. But after, you know, your coaching and the way that you've helped us, you know, situations like that, when a problem arises, instead of being, you know, crushed by the problem, we laugh about it most often. And then you just keep going. And that's probably one of the most crucial things, I think, is, you know, it's really helped us get over that. And you just kind of laugh, and you just know that you have to keep going, and you just, you know, you do what you got to do.
And at some point you realize keep going means like just getting more clients and hiring more people. Like at some point, like in the beginning, you're like, oh, I don't want to lose any of my clients. And then at some point you're like, I could just get more. Like it doesn't even, like I could just get more.
Mindset, that's a big mindset shift.
Yeah.
In you. And so that's when you move from a scarcity position to, you know, a thriving position. So you're totally different. And then, so when you put that energy out in the universe, all that's going to do is produce more and more clients that are attracted to you. That's like huge.
I said, bring them to me, bring them.
So Jacob, I want to ask you, what changes have you seen in Sydney during the program? Because I know you've said stuff like that to me.
I would say for sure I think she said she's a bit of a perfectionist. So a lot of the times everything has to be perfect. And in such a way, it's hard for somebody like that to delegate responsibilities to somebody else and trust them to do so. And so one of the things we struggled with was, you know, effectively being a partnership where I'm trying to help her, she is struggling, you know, but if she can't trust me to do some of the roles, you know, how can I help? So I would say that's one of the biggest things is now she is very good at delegating, and she just lets me know and our employees what has to be done, how to do it, and things get done now for sure. I'd say that's one of the big things.
And that, so, you know, as a couple that owns a business together, you two need to figure out what your roles are and be able to lean on each other.
Absolutely.
Not one of you can do everything, right? And I think in the beginning, Sydney, you wanted to do everything, but then you realized you couldn't because it's too much to do.
Yeah.
And I promise any other couples out there that are going through this, it is a struggle, but you will get there. Stick with it.
Yep.
You know, rely on each other. If somebody's good at one thing, let them do it. If the other person's good at another thing, let them do it. And you just work with each other on that way.
Huge. That's huge. So who do you think would benefit from joining the program and working with me?
I mean, anybody at any point, like whether you're new or I've even watched videos of you working with people who, been doing this for like 10 plus years, but anybody really who is having a hard time like making decisions. If your business isn't growing and you want it to grow, contact Cheryl. If you if you have a hard time making decisions and you don't know what to do, contact Cheryl. Like to be honest, like I said, just were this like, I don't want to say glob of experience, this, person with so much experience, that, like I said, just was like literally right in my back pocket with my phone. And like you said, I could just text you at any point in time. In addition to our sessions, I'd be like writing down questions all week long, come to the session with a million questions. Like our business in 7 months first of all, it's become the business that we always wanted it to, which I didn't think we were going to have before working with you. And second of all, it happened in a lot less time than we thought it was going to, which is also a great thing, because I'm always worried that I'm never going to have enough time, even though I'm in my 20s. I'm always worried that I'm never going to have enough time to make enough money. And now I feel like I'm actually on the right path to like put myself where I want to be financially in the next 10 years.
Right. And then you guys, and probably in a couple of years, are going to think about having kids. So now you have a new goal to be completely out of the field. So you can raise the children and the business can still come in, and, you guys can take vacations and have that residual income coming in. So you two are so young, you're 26, you're doing it the right way. You will be completely fine.
Good. That's the goal.
Then you'll struggle with trying to be the perfect mother, but that's another.
No, I know but that's all I want time for. To be honest with you, I tell people I want to not be in the field because I'm a big baby when it comes to getting sick. So like morning sickness or any of that, I'll be like, okay, I'm calling out. Bye.
Yeah, exactly.
So if I worked for someone else, I wouldn't be able to.
So do both of you, like, do you have any advice for any cleaning business owners who are struggling right now and like on the fence about getting some help?
The biggest thing that I tell people that we actually struggled to get our head around in the beginning was the investment into ourselves. It was paying the money to have these sessions where when you don't have a lot of it coming in, you're like, should I do it? And to be honest with you, we had been burned already by somebody who took I think it was actually Angie's lead, which they have a lawsuit now, but Angie's lead, they burned us for a couple $100 and we're supposed to get us leads that never came through. And so that's why, when you came and you were like, I can help you grow your business. And we were like, well, do we do this? So, and it was a great investment and we learned so much about ourselves and again, our business. And so that's the biggest thing is whether it's you or Jobber, which we love Jobber, or any of those other, things, those things that may seem scary, may seem expensive, are ultimately the investment that you need to help your business grow. And that's one of the biggest things is spend money now to make money later.
Yeah. Don't be afraid to find a coach like Cheryl or even somebody else, whoever you're comfortable with.
Yep.
Can help you. And then also don't be afraid to, take part in services like, softwares and other programs that will help you improve your business. We were so scared to do some of these things or expense some of these things. And if you just have faith and use them, they will pay off.
Well, I think a lot of people look at it as like an expense and they don't consider it that, it's an investment. There's a difference, an expense is going, crazy on Amazon and spending like $300-400 worth of clothes or something like that. But when you invest in your business where it's going to, get you somewhere faster. I mean, if you think of it, like the cost of my program is going out and getting 2 new clients and you've covered it for the month. So when you break it down like that, and when you start to get a lot of clients real quick, you're like, oh, all right. So then you move again from that like scarcity mentality to a mentality of growth, which is where you need to be if you're going to grow, and scale, because you can only get so far solo cleaning.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, we are like obviously beyond blessed that we found you, because like I said, we got a lot farther with you than without you.
And I've just loved working with you. Like I know like we're not going to be talking anymore, but I still want to, you know what I mean?
I almost sent you a message this morning. I was like,
I know. Well, hopefully we're going to be doing a retreat in the spring. So, I hope that you guys can come. Love to meet you. you know, to be so awesome. And we'll be in the, you know, back of your old woods, Jacob, because we'll be in New Hampshire, so.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yes.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on. And, you know, I think it's important to hear people's stories that have actually gone through the program. It takes away a lot of the fear of other people that are nervous about working with someone, because, you know, there's a lot of coaches out there, a lot of choices, and you just need to find the right fit is what it really comes down to, you know, so.
Oh yeah. And all these other interviews when you did with other people, like I saw them, and even though we were already working with you, but we saw them and I was just like, again, it just confirmed real people are going through real things too.
We're all real people.
We're
No,
all-
that's what we forget, you know?
Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you so much for coming on and telling your story. I think it's really important that everyone hears the Sydney and Jacob story.
Yay.
Well, congratulations.
for
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on all your success, and sky's the limit. Now you get to double that. You get to double that 10,000.
Yes, we are.
Yes, ma'am.
That's the goal. All right, well, you have a wonderful day, and thank you so much.
You
Absolutely.
too.
Have a good one.
Bye.
Are you gonna end it?